Sorry, I could not let that belch just go. Parents and how you can pick up on their shit because it's a lot of shit. And it's like when I was younger, like when I was, I don't know, 10 years old, I would say I don't ever want children because children were a lot of work, and that was me at 10. I thought we were a lot of work as kids, and it is. It's like, Mom, we're going on a field trip. I need you to sign this for me and give me $15. Okay, when's the field trip? Today. Hope you don't mind change. Or do they take plastic? Um, and I tend to lose thought and bounce around. I'm sorry. I have this thing, like in the last 6 months, and my kids will probably say it's longer. I don't remember shit. I will literally be sitting here writing down something. I'm like, okay, and I say it out loud. I say this shit out loud. I've got to go in the back and grab a new pack of markers. Okay. I will get up. I'll go to the kitchen and stop and think, what was I was supposed to be doing something. And my oldest sister Clara, I love you and I miss you. Go back to where you were and you'll remember. I'm like, that's bullshit. It doesn't work, but it does. Thank God. I love working with kids when they're good kids and great parents. If it's I've had women in their 30s who that I had a woman who was like 33, 34, and her child was built like a 3-year old, but he was actually 1.5. And at the interview, well, red flag number one for any kind of childcare provider or anybody getting into the childcare business, if the parents can't bring the kid on the interview, that's a no go. No. That's when you know they can bring the devil to your house. So she didn't bring this child. And he was very aggressive. And it reminded me of that cartoon like when I was a kid. I think it's like Tom and Jerry, where the animal has like the let's say the mouse in his hand. I'm gonna love it and pet it and treat it like, I mean, just like that's the way he was. He did not know how not to be aggressive. That was just something in his brain work. So he hit one of the infants that I had at that time. And I said, what are you doing? What's wrong? He didn't know how to communicate. I said, what did you do? Come on, talk to me, buddy. We're all in this together. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. So I called mom, his mom, and let her know you're going to have to come get him because he just hit one of my infants. And, no. So she came and she was just, I don't know what to do. What to do? I'm sitting there like, okay, well, if she were like 15 to fucking 20, okay, you might not know what the fuck to do around a baby or around your own kid. God help you if you don't know. But I told her, I sat with her and I was like, I would get him checked by the family doctor to see if there's anything he could be tested for, or because he couldn't communicate well. And that's probably led to the anger that he was having. And she just sat there and I talked to her and she just started crying. She's like, I don't know what to do. Tell me what to do. What would you do? And I'm like, I would go to my doctor and say, hey, this is what's going on with my son. I need the procedures for testing for everything. well, unless my coverage doesn't, I stutter too. um, if the coverage doesn't cover it, we won't get that test. So they left, and she called me, and I was like, because you hate when like you have to kick a parent out, kick their kid out, and if they call you back, there's usually like something wrong. It's just like, okay, it's like, oh, not her, not that kid. He or she can't get back. Um, and she's like, I just wanted to thank you, and I'm like, you're welcome. And she's like, I talked to my doctor, and he does. My son has got some kind of a disability to where I don't know, he can't talk, he can't communicate, so he strikes out. And she's like, I really want to thank you. I wouldn't have spotted that myself. And I'm like, why? Why do these people get pregnant? Why do these people have children? Having a child should be a yearly test. If you're interested in having a child, get tested every year like a fucking driver's license. If you are taking care of the baby and you go get a sandwich and the doll baby, let's say doll baby, rolls off and hits the floor, you're not going to pass. No. Well, I was just getting milk for the baby, but you didn't secure the baby. You thought, it's only going to be a minute. Bah! And in that minute, your kid's got shaken baby syndrome just by hitting the fucking floor. I talk fast sometimes too. I'm sorry for that. I try to take a breath and try to get it to slow down from here to here. And it's like so many things follow after this is here, and it's trying to force its way out of my mouth. And I'm like, shut up, that's dirty. It's just like my brain knows what to say. All my mouth has to do is just boom, release. And it's like, I don't know if anybody would see me as this, but I love to laugh. I love to joke with people. And with this whole stuttering thing, it's just like, I can say a knock knock joke, and it just totally fuck up the punchline. Knock knock, who's there? The owl. The owl who? The owl says who? Or what, you know what I'm saying? I have to like totally, the moment for the fucking impact of the joke is gone. Done. There's no coming back after that. None. None. And you're sitting, I sit here and think, damn, the fuck is wrong with me? That, one-liners used to be my shit. There's a lot going on with me. So many things in so little time. At one point, I wanted to write all this, but like my hand with my another thing about me and my fucked up body going on, it's like I'll hold something, and all of a sudden, my fingers will start to tingle like they're going to sleep. And I'm like, okay, well, that's no problem because I'm in a weird position. So I'll just straighten my arm. Nothing happens. Nothing changes. And I'm just like, all right, whatever. I get frustrated a lot. And like I said, I was going to write all this stuff down on paper or type it up on the computer. I just couldn't get out fast enough. I wouldn't be able to get it out fast enough. That frustrates me. No, I'm not crying. I'm just like, got a plugged up nose. I love movies and TV. More so movies than TV because, like, you got an actual program that's in reality is like 24 minutes. But you want to make sure you stretch that shot for 35, don't you? And it's like, okay, this is supposed to be the cliffhanger. Let me go pee real quick. And it's like all of a sudden, if it's something that I'm watching with my daughter Sophia, I'll go to the bathroom. She'll be like, holy shit. I'm like, I totally missed that. There's no rewind. There's no, okay, do over. Mom, oh, rewind it. You'll have to see it. I'm like, oh, not one of those rewinded shits. That means whatever happened was fucking awesome. Whether it was good or bad on the show, it was fucking awesome and I missed it. I feel better about doing things this way. And I'm going to be, I don't want to say documenting because it's really not documentation. I'm going to be posting videos on this channel. So like and subscribe so I can pay my rent. You don't have to subscribe. Not unless you actually want to see what the fuck I'm going to do next. And this is not always going to be about like my personal grievances or, what socks a kid wore today or whatever. I mean, some of them might be just short. And it's like, hey, I had a moment. This is what happened. I might keep recording later. I'll put it online. Bam, boom, we're done. I was going to burst my